Everybody, this is Marta Acha. I wanted to welcome you this evening. I'm going to be presenting the cardiovascular system with a focus on hypertension. A little bit about myself. I've been a veterinarian for the past 35 years and have been a veterinary acupuncturist for the past 10 years. Have always been interested in herbs and decided to use my GI Bill to do more herbal studies at MUIH. Chose hypertension because it's very heavy in my family, and I wanted to see what could be done about hypertension with herbal support. Just a review of anatomy and the basic functions of the cardiovascular system. Main structures would be the heart and the large vessels like the aorta, the pulmonary artery, and the vena cava. Also, just all the arteries and veins and the capillaries, red blood cells, and not to forget platelets or thrombocytes, and even plasma. All these are components of the cardiovascular system. The heart, of course, is the chief organ, and it consists of four main chambers. And its basic function is to pump deoxygenated blood through the lungs to pick up oxygen and then pump it out to the rest of the body, some nice oxygenated blood. But blood transport and oxygen transport isn't the only thing that the blood cardiovascular system does. The blood also transports nutrients and removes waste, and it moves metabolites and other chemicals from organs to be either further metabolized or excreted. Thrombocytes or platelets are critical in hemostasis. They actually initiate coagulation. There's lots of little microbleeds going on all the time in the body, so without the thrombocytes, there could be uncontrolled bleeding, and uncontrolled bleeding certainly could lead to hypovolemia, and that would be very serious. Um, in addition, there's some homeostatic functions that the cardiovascular system does with heating and cooling. The body uses the capillary vessels for vasodilation to expel heat and vasoconstriction to conserve heat. Also intimately involved with the immune system in that the blood also carries white blood cells, and also we can't forget the lymphatics, even though not an active part of the blood system is carrying lymph, it's still part of the circulation, and it's still very important, so that should be included as well. Some important herbal actions for the cardiovascular system include cardioactive, diuretic, cardiotonic, nervine, vascular tone, hypertensive, hypotensive, antispasmodic, vasodilation, and circulatory stimulant. Herbs for these recommended actions for cardiotonic would be the Crataegus species or hawthorn, Tilia platyphilos, which is linden flower, Allium sativum, which is garlic, very delicious garlic, Achillea millifolium, which of course is yarrow, another good herb, cardioactive herbs. These are kind of some of the ones that you have to, I think, take some caution in, that some of them in too high of doses can be rather toxic. So, for instance, the first one, Convallaria myjolis, is lily of the valley, which can be quite toxic if used in too high of a dose. The second one there listed is Cytisus scoparis, which is Scotch broom, Lycopus europaeus, which we often term bugleweed, although it has many common names, and Scrofularia nodosum, which is figwort. One of the circulatory stimulants would be capsaicin annum, which is cayenne pepper. Vasodilators would be xanthellum americanum, which is prickly ash, and my favorite, ginkgo biloba, which is a wonderful for the microcirculation in all parts of the body, but particularly known for the brain, but all over the body. So great drug for the circulatory system as well. Hypotensive, this is if you need something to lower your blood pressure because you're hypertensive, you have hypertension. Tilia, which again is the linden flower. Viscum album, which is mistletoe. Another one that should be only used by herbalists who have had some practice with it because it can also be a little toxic if used in too high of a dose. And garlic. Other herbs for recommended actions for hypertensive, and this is if you need some for people with low blood pressure who need a little bit higher blood pressure. Again, the Scotch broom is recommended. It's unique in that it usually balances whatever blood pressure abnormalities there are. So with low blood pressure, it tends to stimulate blood pressure to increase it. And if high, even with high blood pressure, it tends to calm it. So it kind of is a very nice balancing herb. Diuretics, Taraxacum officinale, which is our beloved dandelion, as pictured in this slide. Luckily, it's very hard to kill. It's good luck for us. Achillium millefolium, which again, yarrow, Lycopus europaeus also. Vascular tonics, you have Asclepius hippocastum, that's horse chestnut, and this is very important because this one actually is a powerful herb in even small doses. So there again, it should also be used by skilled herbalists. Another one is Phagopyrum esculum, and of course that's buckwheat, and ginkgo again. And for antispasmodic, we have Valerian officinalis, which is valerian, very nice calming type herb, but in this case to calm spasms. Viburnum opulus, which is cramp bark, another good antispasmodic. And again, our beloved linden flower, which seems to have quite a few actions, which makes it a good cardiovascular herb to choose. Okay, some of the common pathological conditions of the cardiovascular system. There's hypertension, and it affects quite a few Americans. Last count, 35 million, but it certainly could be higher. Leads to strokes, heart arrhythmias, myocardial infarctions, and aneurysms, and kidney disease. Remember, the kidneys receive 25% of cardiac output, so anything that's going to affect cardiac output will affect the kidneys significantly. Some of its attributes are affected by lifestyle, but also there's a genetic component as well, certainly. And it's considered when pressures are typically 140/90 consistently. Another significant pathological condition is congestive heart failure. Very serious heart condition, typically is slow of onset and is usually involving a heart defect, condition like maybe a valvular defect, or the muscle is weakened and so therefore is not pumping properly. Can be slow to onset, but generally once it gets going can be quite serious. So definitely a pathology to be aware of. Arteriosclerosis, otherwise known as hardening of the arteries. Definitely see this alongside hypertension. In fact, they're usually comorbidities. Sometimes you're not sure which one started which, but one can certainly lead to the other. Very much associated with cholesterol plaques and is considered the number one cause of heart disease in the Western world by Hoffman. And I'd have to say I pretty much agree with that. Certainly, another one that is not as aggressive, but certainly is fairly common, is varicose veins. Affects up to 20% of the U.S. population, and that has to do with the vein valve defect. It's if it's not these valves, if they're not working properly, blood tends to pool. It creates backflow. The veins start to become enlarged and tortuous. And actually, with many of these veins being this way, you certainly could have reduced return blood flow to the heart. And this is something that sometimes has to be surgically corrected. For the most part, lifestyle factors, too much stress, too much sitting, too much standing, obesity, pregnancy, and again, very much a genetic component as well. An in-depth look at hypertension. There are two basic classifications. Primary or essential hypertension is when elevated blood pressure with no known medical cause is present. Secondary hypertension tends to be there's an underlying medical cause such as kidney, endocrine, or brain disease. Again, we're going to discuss the primary or essential hypertension. Normally, your blood pressure is going to go up and down throughout the day, especially with rest and exercise. That's normal. But hypertension is diagnosed when the blood pressure is consistently over 140/90, even at rest. And of course, this elevated blood pressure damages the blood vessel walls and creates thickening and arteriosclerosis. These damaged walls, again, as we spoke before, can create these plaques, and that's going to reduce blood flow by decreasing the lumen of the vessels, and reduced perfusion to the heart will lead to angina or myocardial infarction. Increased blood pressure can also create strokes or cerebral bleeds. Kidney, as we spoke before, is especially vulnerable, and if it gets damaged, one of the morbidities could be renal failure. Symptoms of hypertension can be subtle, like flushed face, faintness, headaches, fatigue, and may not even be existent, which is why one of the reasons it tends to be called the silent killer. Risk factors, again, there are things that you cannot modify, like your genetics, your age, your sex, your race. But certainly there are modifiable factors such as, smoking, diet, obesity, type 2 diabetes, and a sedentary lifestyle and stress. Definitely one of the ways that besides herbal support is to certainly try to modify these lifestyle factors. So what are important herbal actions for hypertension? Well, certainly hypotensive. You want something that brings the blood pressure down directly. Cardiotonic, something that's going to help the heart. Many times Crataegus or hawthorn is chosen because it's such a good aid to the heart, and it's a very safe herb. And it's been highly studied and shown that it works very well. Peripheral vasodilator, this action you're going to want to reduce the resistance and increase blood flow. And there's many things like ginkgo, which are very helpful in treating this and reducing blood peripheral resistance. And don't forget Nervines. Nervine, even though it doesn't sound like it belongs to cardiovascular, it does, in that the action of hypertension is often creates stress or is a cause of stress. And without addressing the stress component, you're not addressing the full pathology of this disease. So you definitely want to use a nervine herb to ease tension. Did an interesting market search, started to think about how most people would look up things for herbal support. And besides Google, a lot of people just get right on to Amazon, because not only they're going to search for something, they're going to search to buy something. And Amazon, of course, has a lot of things. In fact, when I searched on Amazon for heart and blood pressure support, I got 7 pages with 418 products. Interestingly enough, the most prominent products weren't actually blends of things that I was hoping to see or find. 20% were omega-3 products, and that's all they had in them. 19% were CoQ10 supplements. Again, very good supplements for things like heart, but not really what I was searching for, a more, potentially blended complete product. But those are the things that were most prominent. Of all the searches on those pages, only 15% were actually heart and blood pressure support blends. And they were distributed throughout the 7 pages. They were not at the beginning, they were dispersed. And if you didn't go through all of them, you wouldn't have had found even half of them. So um, definitely not a very good structured search with Amazon. There's a lot of other reasons why products are displayed first, um, having to do with money, and the way they advertise and which products get to be up front. So just know that sometimes the best products might be at the end of the search. Uh, Interesting enough, there was, 7% were attributed to resveratrol, which of course comes from red wine. But as you know, red wine, you'd have to drink a lot of red wine to get the amount of that element that you'd want. You'd have so in That's why supplements that are concentrated came about, so that you could actually be able to take a decent amount. And 6% were also aimed at controlling cholesterol. The remainder of the products, which were less than 5% each, included pomegranate, magnesium, desiccated beef liver, vitamin K2, probiotics, cinnamon, turmeric, and ginger. Also, probiotics, fiber, folic acid, selenium, sage, saffron, propolis, and even sea moss. And just to round things out, there were things about urinary health, brain health, and liver health, which of course I never asked for. So just know that this is a typical search in Amazon. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to turn up. When I did a what I would call a more targeted market search with herbalist recommended companies, it was a much better search. I looked at tinctures from Mountain Rose Herb and from Herb Farm, and both of them had two very good products. The Mountain Rose had a blend of hawthorn, motherwort, um, oats, and cayenne. And of course, its tagline was comforting herbal extract used to support normal circulation. For $14.50 for a 10-day supply, so triple that for a month, is what that would cost you. It did have the proper warnings, the FDA statement. So again, very thorough in their report. Uh, Herb Farm was the same. This blood pressure support tonic, also very nice blend of hawthorn, olive leaf, linden flower, coleus, and mistletoe. And its tagline was helps maintain established normal blood pressure. This one, interestingly enough, is currently sold out. Um, so either they're running low on supplies or it's so popular that they sold out. But anyway, it was $16.98 for a 30-day supply, which was also a very good price, I felt. Um, and it had listed the cautions. And most of these companies are very good about telling you to seek expert medical advice before taking any of their herbs. And of course, they both had the FDA statement. I wanted to go ahead and find something, two other different types of preps. So found one of a capsule and one for tea. From Gaia Herbs, there was a capsule that was made of a liquid of hawthorn, blend of all the parts of hawthorn, berry, leaf, and flower. And it was listed as one of their best sellers, promoting a happy, healthy heart. 500 milligrams in a capsule, and you were to take one twice daily, and their price was $31.99 for a 30-day supply. Mountain Rose had some tea, which I thought was pretty awesome. Tea is a great way to get herbs. It's just not everybody is either into tea or has time for tea, which is kind of a shame. But um, this Grateful Heart tea was a beautiful blend of hawthorn, lemon balm, rose hips, dandelion, ginkgo, lemon peel, oat straw, bilberry, ginger, and motherwort. And it was to be taken 1 tablespoon into 8 ounces of boiling water, steep 5 minutes, and it was $9.75 for about a 15-day supply. So for under 20 bucks, you could get a month's supply, which I thought was very reasonable and affordable. And again, it had the proper warnings, and in this one, caution was to use with blood thinning drugs. But I thought for those people that will take teas, this was an excellent supplement to take in this format. So my next project was to design a supplement for hypertension. And even though I found some very decent products out there, I still think there is a lot of room for more good quality products. I came up with one that I call Circulatory Care, and my tagline is calming support for your heart, blood pressure, and stress. I wanted to make it easily portable and affordable, so I chose capsules. And my herbal blend was hawthorn, linden flower, skullcap, and horse chestnut. Uh, chose hawthorn again because it's a great cardio tonic. It's been highly studied as a positive inotropic for the heart, helps with contractility without causing arrhythmias, also increases coronary blood flow and decreases oxygen demand on the heart muscle. Also, it's a good hypotensive herb because it creates peripheral vasodilation. It relaxes smooth muscle within the vessel walls. So very easy to pick this one as my top first herb. Dose is 1,000 milligrams 3 times daily. Also wanted to use linden flower because it had so many good herbal actions for the cardiovascular system. In this case, using it as a cardiotonic and a nervine. And again, it relaxes tension and reduces hypertension. Its dose was also 1,000 milligrams 3 times daily. Skullcap was also chosen because it's hypotensive and nervine. And lots of research showing that it does create vasodilation, so therefore would reduce blood pressure that way. Recent studies have shown that it affects the renin-angiotensin hypertension by reducing the enzyme lipoxygenase, and by inhibiting that enzyme, it will reduce production of arachidonic acid, and that is not a good substance in that arachidonic acid causes vasoconstriction. So we do not want vasoconstriction in hypertension. So again, skullcap should help that. Dose is also 1,000 milligrams 3 times daily. Horse chestnut. This was one that I chose because it's very potent peripheral vasodilator, and it really improves blood flow. And it is regarded as a specific blood tonic. Primary component in that is called eskin, and it's a multi-triterpene saponin responsible to reduce edema, and it's got also vasoprotective properties. Dose was going to be 50 milligrams, and that's of the horse chestnut seed extract, also to be taken 3 times daily. General safety considerations for my product was not to be used by pregnant or nursing women or if taking blood thinning medications. Again, if on prescription medications, physicians should be consulted before taking circulatory care supplement. Cost analysis was actually very important to me. So again, I wanted to find something that was affordable for most people, but still of good value. So looking up all these the different herbs, and I basically was trying to see how much a bottle would cost with using the herbal blends. And as you can see through all those calculations, the bottom line is total cost per bottle just for the herbs would be $15.86. Typically a market industry, either double or triple the price so that one, it covers the cost of your materials and your labor, but also includes a profit. So this supplement would be somewhere around $47.58 for a month, and I feel that would be very reasonable for a high quality herbal blend. And I feel like most people should take this herbal blend for at least 3 months and then reassessing their blood pressure with their doctors to see if they needed to continue or if they could potentially even not need the herbs anymore, at least this blend. So I have attached a pamphlet of this product, and it's in a Word attachment, so look for that. Wrap up and projections. Cardiovascular disease is not going away. It's still the #1 cause of fatality in the U.S. Herbal supplements can help support the system, and I feel like circulatory care could be one such quality supplement. I'm very interested in helping design such quality supplements for both human and animal use, and I look forward to continuing to learn how to design, produce, and assess herbs for quality supplements and medicines. Thank you so much. Totally enjoyed this class and hope to see you all again soon. Thank you.